Robinson and I'm an interior designer, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be part of the Happy Place Virtual Festival. I'm really passionate about interior design, but I'm even more passionate about well-being and happiness, and when you bring the two elements together, it's really, really powerful stuff. So I've been an interior designer for, would you believe it, 25 years, and over my huge career I've seen so many interior design transformations, and one thing that makes me love my industry more than anything else is seeing somewhere really dull and drab, or maybe sad and cluttered, transformed into a place that not just looks amazing but feels really great to be in too. And it's this element that I want to share with you in this workshop, the idea that interior design isn't just something that looks beautiful on our Instagram feeds, but is also something that can really support us emotionally and make us feel really, really great. I mean, like no time, like no other, have we spent so much time indoors. And so you might already be getting connected with how interior design affects your mood and the way you feel about life. Because like seriously, our homes are probably our most intimate spaces. They are the place we retreat to at the end of the day. They're the spaces we share with our family, our loved ones, our friends, our favourite pets. So wouldn't you agree that the way we design them, the colours that we choose to surround ourselves with, is kind of really critical that we get that right. So over the next few minutes of this workshop, I'm going to start giving you an insight into how you can get connected with that. Now, this isn't all just kind of frou-frou, you know, cushions and slapping a new paint colour on the walls. This has all been backed up actually, which I'm particularly pleased about, sort of scientific research. A couple of years ago, the Happiness Research Institute, who are based in Copenhagen, did some really extensive research and came up with lots of fascinating data on what it is that makes people happy. And there are a few things, our mental well-being being one of them, and I know that's something that's been really explored within this festival. But second place to mental well-being was home happiness. Don't you think that's absolutely fascinating? The research found out that how we feel in our homes has more impact on our emotional well-being than our physical well-being, more impact than the jobs that we're in, even more important than how much money we've got in the bank. One of the things the research highlighted, which I think is particularly fascinating, is that our homes are also integral to our sense of self and our identity. And I think this is where interior design really comes in, especially in this digital age. Now look, I'm addicted to Instagram and Pinterest, just like everyone else. I've literally lost hours, if not days, looking at beautiful homes, beautiful architecture, beautiful interiors online. But what I'm aware of is this can lead to a bit of FOMO, a bit of feeling inadequate, that someone else's home is always more beautiful than your own. But it can also lead you down the path of lusting over a home that isn't actually true to you. It might be something that you think you should like, or an image that you should portray to the rest of the world, for example. Interior design isn't about impressing our friends. It isn't about trying to validate our taste or sense of style to the neighbours. The way you design your home is really, really integral to you and who you are. And so I think sometimes stripping away all this overwhelm of images, and don't get me wrong, they're really, really useful, and we'll be using images even throughout this workshop at the end to help us create our vision board, but it's not the place to start. Pinterest and Instagram and glossy interior design magazines are not the place to start. First of all, you have to understand how a space makes you feel, and that's a really, really crucial foundation for any design, if you like. So this meditation that I'm going to take you through, and by the way, if you've never done a guided meditation, do not worry. The people who do my online workshops and courses or my creative colour days absolutely love this part of the course, because it's an opportunity to step away from the two-dimensional world. After all, interiors are something that are more experiential. They're open to all our senses. And so if you can start kind of flexing this visualization muscle, it's going to really, really help you not only design your own home, but actually open up lots of opportunities everywhere in your life. Any interior designer it's like their superpower, seriously. They're always spinning rooms around in their head. It's the sort of thing that keeps me up at night, imagining and spinning the spaces that I'm designing, looking at them from all angles, thinking about how they feel, the colours, the textures, the patterns, the layout. And so if you're wanting to design your own home, it's really good to, as I said, step inside that visual world. So the meditation will also help us do that. So I kind of request that you enter this with a really open mind. This meditation is going to ask you to conjure up and imagine your dream home. I mean, can you imagine how luscious is that? I mean, it's such a wonderful opportunity. Absolutely no limitations, no budget limitations, no limitations on location. You can even decide who lives in this fantasy house with you if you want. It could be the lottery win mansion, it could be a penthouse in Manhattan, or it could be a camper van on the coastline. At the moment, I want you to go into this with no preconceived ideas, completely forget the home you're in at the moment or any of the stresses or anxieties that might be causing you. These are all roadblocks to creativity at this point of the design process. And just do some real clear blue sky thinking, because this is all going to unlock useful information, which I'm going to ask you to take notes of. So make sure you've got a notebook and pen handy before you start this meditation, because what it's going to reveal to you is something that's going to help you go forward in whatever home you decide to live in. Okay, if you found your lovely, quiet, snuggly space, then we are ready to begin and discover your dream home. So to start off with, we're going to start with our eyes open but relaxed, maybe just creating a soft gaze somewhere in the room. But as you go through this meditation, just allow your eyes to relax and close. And I want you to imagine a beautiful warm light slowly entering to the top of your head. This is a gorgeous light representing everything that's healing and protecting. It's a really beautiful, positive energy. And allow its warm, honey-coloured ooziness to drip down through your head, warming every part of your brain and helping it to relax. Next, you can send the warm light anywhere where you feel you need some relaxation. Let it drip down your neck, warm your rib cage with its gentle, nourishing glow. The warm light will also be spreading down your arms and into each fingertip. Let it move down your body into your stomach, into your pelvis, before steadily dripping down into your legs. Softening your knees, warming your ankles, and let the warm energy soften each of your toes as you breathe in and out of your lungs. Feel the healing energy of those warm and nourishing, soft light. And just relax and enjoy gentle, soft breaths. So as you're feeling relaxed, quiet and still, your body should feel nice and warm. I want you to imagine you're standing in a wooded clearing. The sky is blue, the leaves are green, and the grass is wonderfully soft underfoot. Just notice that this feels like a good place to be. Now this is where we're going to start our journey. So I want you to start to imagine that your home is somewhere off in the distance. And we're going to take a gentle walk to get there. So slowly move out and away from the clearing and begin to walk towards the path that takes you to your dream home. And just to remember, this isn't your actual home. This is going to be your true dream home. You may be heading out towards a pathway, a road, or even a street. Wherever you find yourself walking, whichever path you find yourself following, this is absolutely perfect. You may find that you're staying in the countryside or moving to a more urban area, or you might be taking to the coast. Just take a moment to look at the environment around you. Just enjoy what you see. Notice the landscape, any other houses. What do they look like? If this is a natural landscape, again notice what that looks like. And how do you feel knowing that this is the perfect place where your home is situated? So furthering down the path or road towards your dream home, you begin to approach it now. Stand outside your home for a moment and just take a look at it from the outside. Again, you might notice the style of the house, its situation. You might even notice the architecture. You might look at what materials the building's made from, the driveway, the front porch. But now move towards the front door and go to turn the door handle. But just take a minute to notice the style of the door, even what colour it is. As you open the door, you find yourself moving through into the entrance or hallway. Just take a moment to notice how it feels to be home. Feel that sensation of homecoming in your body, and everything here is just as it should be. Start to notice the colours that surround you, what kind of shades or tones they are, and also what's underfoot. You might also start to get an indication of the other people who live here at your dream home, or if there are any pets. Perhaps one of them greets you as you open the door. Now let's move into the kitchen area. Now, how important is this room to you? Is this the heart of the home, or somewhere where you just nip in and out to raid the fridge? Again, notice the feeling you get from walking into your ideal kitchen. Notice the colours, the textures, the surfaces. Run your hand along the worktop. And can you now imagine how you use this space? Who else is in here with you? And what are they doing? Move towards the window where you can get a view of the outside, and take a look at the back space of your home. Take a moment to really enjoy the view. It might be your garden, it might be an open landscape, sea, forest, cityscape, whichever it is, this is your ideal view. Now let's go take a look at the living room. It may be that it's open plan to the kitchen, or you might be taken back through your gorgeous hallway in order to enter the living room. Do whatever feels natural. Notice how you feel entering your living room. Also maybe notice how it feels different to the kitchen. And as you take a moment to let it all come into view, imagine what you love doing in your dream living room. Is it a place to relax and unwind? Or do you see yourself hanging out with friends and family in this space? Again, notice the colours. What's the sofa like? Do you notice any scatter cushions? And if so, take a note of the colours and the patterns. Go take a seat on your sofa and enjoy the feel and the texture of it. And as you sit on your sofa, take a look around the room and maybe notice what else is in there. A fireplace. Notice any artwork, bookcases. Only have in your dream living room what you desire, and take a moment to realise how that makes you feel. Now let's go take a look at your bedroom. This is your space, a place to get away from it all. So, what are your first impressions about walking into your ideal bedroom? And maybe inquire about how this room is a personal reflection of you. Again, notice how you want to feel in this space. Notice the colours, the patterns, what's on the walls, the furnishings. Even notice what's underfoot. You might take a look at how the bed's dressed. Artwork, ornaments, objects. Is there a walk-in closet? And if so, why not go inside and have a little peek at your ideal wardrobe? Open the drawer onto your jewellery box. Notice your shoes on the shoe racks and a collection of dresses, shirts or jackets. Again, it's a time to delight in all your favourite colours, patterns and textures. And also delight in the fact that you look great in these clothes. They look fabulous on you, they suit you 100%, and whenever you wear them, you feel your best. Finally, let's go take a walk outside. Take a moment to enjoy the outside space that surrounds your dream home. Feel the air on your skin. Feel the ground under your feet, and take a look at the view that surrounds you. The flowers, the trees, the landscape, and any surrounding architecture. Really enjoy taking a walk around your space and that feeling of being home, that feeling of feeling safe and secure, the feeling like you are home. And when you are ready to leave, you can slowly start to wriggle your fingers. Slowly wriggle your toes and just allow a big smile to cross your face. And maybe if it feels good, have a nice big stretch. and then come back and join me, ready with your notebook and pen. So how was that? I really hope you enjoyed it. You might fall asleep. You wouldn't be the first if you did that. Does happen to quite a few people. If that's the case, it's no biggie. You can always go back and listen to this presentation again and repeat the meditation. But with your notebooks and pens ready, it's a really great idea to start making a note of some of the things we discovered during the guided meditation. And I also want to say at this point that I really hope you enjoyed it and it hasn't made you feel like you need to move. That's definitely not what I'm saying. This isn't about actually moving house and needing a dream house in order to be happy. What we're going to do now is mine for treasure. Find out what it is about dreaming big, reveal to you about what you need in order to feel happy and great about your interior design. So first of all, just make a note of the landscape, the sort of surrounding area of your dream home. I think this can be really interesting, and quite often people are quite surprised at the situation they find themselves in. But more importantly, what that environment, what that landscape, how that made you feel, and what it was about that feeling that was so important, whether that was a feeling of space or a feeling of community. There's lots and lots of different reasons why we situate our dream home in different places. So just make a note to, a minute to note the location and the landscape surrounding your dream home. And then jot down a few notes about the architecture of your dream house. I think this can also be really telling. Now this is quite a big one. Just write down a few key words that sum up the emotions you felt walking into your dream house and how you felt as you moved through that entrance, and any details that you noticed about that hallway and perhaps any of the pets or people who greeted you there. It's all good stuff to know. You might start beginning to make a note of any colours or textures as you moved into the house. And then we were moving into the dream kitchen. This is a really specific space, quite challenging space to design in actual fact. Very expensive space to design, isn't it? So this will be really interesting to find out what your dream kitchen looked like, especially interested in any colours in here. I know typically a lot of people tend to go quite neutral in the kitchen, they play it safe, but if you don't have to worry about budget or size limitations, I'd be really interested to know what sort of patterns, colours, textures you saw coming through in your ideal kitchen. And again, any sort of layout and how it was used is really telling. You know, whether it was just a little small galley kitchen where you could be on your own, cooking up your favourite meals, or whether it was actually a more open plan and sociable space. All good stuff to find out. Then we also enjoyed a view from the kitchen to the outside space. So again, jot down anything that you noticed about that, the sort of view that you enjoy looking at, whether it's one of greenery and nature, or if it's a seascape, whether it's woodland, or whether it's open and spacious. This can all be quite interesting stuff in how we imagine how we want to feel within our homes and in our spaces. How did you feel walking into the living room? That's another good thing to inquire, because living spaces can have lots of different functions and purposes. Was your living space somewhere where you wanted to retire and retreat? Did you see yourself reading a book alone with a cup of tea? Or was it a place for big roaring fire, the dog on your lap, or a place for partying with friends? So again, you know, there's not one way to approach living room design, and getting an idea of how you want to feel in the space and who's going to be using it with you is all really good stuff. Also notice again the colours, the textures. I asked you to think about the texture of the sofa, any patterns on the cushions in there. If anything was really strong for you visually, it's a really good idea to make notice again of any artwork or pictures or photographs, ornaments. Also in style as well, it's quite interesting as well as you went through your dream space, if there were any particular styles that were beginning to pop up for you, whether it looked very graceful and elegant and calm space, or whether you had lots of stuffed bookcases and kind of mantelpiece displays, whether the space felt really open, light and airy, or cocooning and cozy. You can start tapping into those kinds of things as you work through your living room space. And finally into the bedroom, and I think this is a really fascinating space when we start imagining it, because quite often our bedrooms tend to be more of a reflection of us personally. We don't tend to invite many people into our bedroom, so it is a much more kind of intimate space. And then finally, I think just jot down anything else that I might have missed out. If there were any light bulb moments or aha moments where you have perhaps discovered something that you weren't expecting, make sure you write it all down, because essentially as we move forward into the design process, when it comes to designing your home, this is all absolutely essential research. This is really giving you the grounding, the foundation of which to build your scheme. And so when I talked at the start of this presentation about moving away from Pinterest and Instagram and sort of what I call copycat interiors, if you like, I feel that even if you get an interior designer in or you create something that looks really beautiful on the gram, sometimes it doesn't quite feel yours, and you don't have that feeling of belonging and ownership, and you can kind of just feel really dissatisfied with it. But if you start from this basis of how you really react to colours on quite a subconscious level, actually, I'm hoping the meditation will bring up some stuff that perhaps you didn't even know or realise. Then you're going to build up a colour scheme and a design scheme that isn't concerned with trends and other people's opinions. It's going to be much more grounded in what it is that you genuinely love, and therefore is going to make you feel more emotionally supported. So the next part of this process is to quite quickly move away from our written notes and into what I call a vision board. Now, I'm guessing a few of you will already be quite au fait with vision boards. They're brilliant. I've done a vision board for years for many different reasons, not just for interiors or my dream home. Lots of people use them to plan their year or plan their goals in life, because the absolutely incredible thing about images is they're way more powerful on our brain and the way we process stuff than words. They're a lot more immediate and a lot more kind of hard hitting. So anything that you can move away from notes and on the page and into something that's more visually rich is going to be much more empowering for you. So a vision board typically might look, this is the one I did of a dream home, would look something like that. So you'll see that there's all kinds of images on there, from the architecture, the landscape. There's even some images on here on the type of things I'd be doing in my dream home. I've even got some fashion on there, which was inspired by the dream wardrobe. But really kind of anything that visually represents the words that you were writing or you were saying. You don't have to get the exact match for match pictures. If you can do that, that's incredible. It's more about harnessing the feeling of your dream home, or harnessing some of the styles you saw, and even more importantly, maybe picking out some of those colours. So in order to create your vision board, I hoard absolutely masses of magazines as it is. I've got trillions of them, and I'm not precious about them. I'm always ripping them and tearing them up. So you can use magazines, brochures, catalogues, flyers, anything like that. Or, of course, at this point, I will allow you to go onto Pinterest and start looking for images that capture some of the things you've discovered in this meditation. And again, I would urge you not just to cling onto pictures of rooms. It can be pictures of, as I said, a pair of shoes, a pair of earrings, things you're doing. Colour swatches are also a good thing to get your hands on. So if you can get hold of some paint charts or paint chips, to start exploring what colours you were drawn to, and also, more importantly, the particular tone and hue of colours. So was it a sky blue, or was it a more warm teal blue, or something more deep and dramatic like a navy blue, for example? These are all the sorts of inquiries that we're having when we start putting together a board that really conjures up the way you want to feel in your home, and that's really at the core of this exercise. Once you've done your dream home, you can also move into doing anything that sort of also harnesses up all other areas of your life as well, or even a particular room. I'm just doing these on like A3 boards. Another really great tip is to get yourself a sketchbook. This is an A4 ring bounder sketchbook, which I find particularly useful because it means you can get a nice flat lay when you're doing your vision board, and you can just keep going. I mean, I've literally got hundreds of these boards in here. I'm kind of slightly addicted. And I recommend actually nothing bigger than A3. I think sometimes you can use pin boards like I've got behind me. They're quite good just for loose ideas. But no, it comes down to really honing it. I think a smaller board like A3 urges you to focus, urges you to find real clarity, because I think if you stick too many images together, it can quickly get quite muddy. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I think Pinterest is brilliant, but creating virtual Pinterest boards where you literally end up with hundreds of pictures on the scroll, you can kind of lose the focus and the clarity. So this is a really good exercise to do. Print them off on your printer. Always looks super nice if you can do it on photography paper, but don't worry if you can't. And then snip some colour swatches. Yeah, pictures, colour swatches, and then any elements of pattern can work really well too. And I kind of stick them down with Pritt Stick, or I've got this collection of washi tapes, which is really, really useful because the great thing about washi tape, or magic tape as well, is really good, is you can stick images down and then move them again. They're never ever fixed. And I quite like the fact that your vision boards can be quite organic and you can add and take away. And you can also, if you want to, put some keywords on your vision boards. You know, that could be quite a good idea too, especially if you've got like a specific room in mind, or maybe you just want to grab 3 or 5 keywords that really sum up how you want that room to feel and get them really, really fixed down on the board. So you just basically keep focused on what you're doing. Because what I find when I'm doing anything creative or anything for interior design, my magpie eye can get distracted really, really, really easily. So this is a good sort of discipline, if you like. Keywords and key images, and it keeps the whole project on track. And then really you can either stick this up on your wall. I'm always keeping my mood boards and my vision boards here in my office where I can always see them, because it kind of alliterates what I'm doing and strengthens my ideas. Or better still, if you do pop them in a sketchbook, you can easily stick that in your handbag when you're next out or going shopping and use it as a really good reference material, again, to keep your project on track. So there we have it. This is an insight into my design process that I use again and again to create those dream interiors. And I think the sort of main headline here is to really connect with how you want to feel in a space before you get too hooked in to how you want it to look, and use that as the basis for your interior design schemes. I really hope you've enjoyed it, you found it inspiring, and ultimately you're going to find this really empowering when you go forward and create your own dream home. You can find tons more interior design inspiration on my weekly blog, sophierobinson.co.uk. I've got 2 fab online courses which are designed for anybody who wants to get more powerful about interior design and really create their dream home. And finally, me and Mad About the House, we hook up every other week for our podcast, The Great Indoors, which is just full of pearls of interior design wisdom. I hope you really enjoyed it. I've loved sharing this time with you, and enjoy the rest of the festival.
If you like that video, there are loads more talks, classes and exclusive videos from the Happy Place Virtual Festival. So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Do follow us on Instagram for constant updates, and enjoy.